I'm excited that you guys are joining. Thank you guys so much for being here. Just working out the last kinks to get things rolling. When you're trying to do more than one thing, sometimes it becomes a challenge, and you roll with the punches. I believe we are going to be good to go in approximately 37 seconds. And hopefully that will do the trick. Dave, can you hear me? Morning. Thank you guys so much for being here. It worked. Got it. Woo! See, sometimes you just have to do things over and over again to make them work, and that's what we did today. Thank you guys for joining us live on Facebook. Thank you guys for watching this live at startwithhatch.com/customer. You guys are in for a ride today. If you're watching on Facebook and you want to actually be able to see the slides, head on over to startwithhatch.com/customer. And you guys can follow along there as well. You can almost as well as comment below and just follow along. You guys are going to be in for a treat. So if you're watching over here, you're going to be getting kind of the behind the scenes look a little bit. And it's going to be a fun show. So I'm going to screen share my screen so that we can get this out of the way and start rolling. And hope you guys are ready. At any time, just simply ask questions. I will get back to you as quickly as I can. We will have several breaks throughout this so that we can answer those questions during that time. Are you guys excited and ready? If you're listening, I want to know who's watching, who's excited, what some of your challenges are. But today we are going to talk about finding your first and your next customers with no budget. Now, a lot of people talk about spending a lot of money finding new customers, but I think that you can do this in a lot different kind of way, but it takes time. It takes actually something that we call work. Derek, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. Congrats on signing the lease yesterday or sometime recently. So, by a show of hands, those of you that are watching, tell me a little bit about how you guys are finding your customers now, and what are some of the struggles that you are likely having. Is it because you're spending money on things that you don't know if you should be spending yet, or things are just not converting the way that you want? What is it? Today, this is why you're here, because you're probably starting or growing a business. You're likely on a shoestring budget. And here's what I think about that. Even if you're not on a shoestring budget, maybe you should always act like that, because you shouldn't spend money that you don't have, even if you do have it, because you can do more and more with it. You may be unsure of where to start or what to do next. You're interested in what tools exist to help you in this stage of your business, and you're not trying to spend a lot of money. So if that's you, stick around. If you know someone that maybe share it with them right now. We'll be on this for just a couple of minutes. So who am I? I'm the enthusiastic founder of this little place called Hatch. This is where we are right here live and in person. Many of you guys have been here before. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here today. It's a fun little place. I'm also the host of a business TV show called Hampton Roads Business Weekly, which is a weekly educational business show. Runs for 30 minutes. If you minus the commercials out of it, it's 22 minutes each and every week. And another thing that's great about it is we get to interview some of the best business owners in the Hampton Roads, 757, Southeastern Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Tidewater, Coastal Virginia area. I think I got all of them this week. And we get to learn from them and some of the challenges and pitfalls that they've gone through, and also some of the positive stuff they've gone through, so that we can learn that for our own businesses as well. And it's a ton of fun. I'm also a recognized influencer in the local startup community, both locally here and then across the country. I'm the youngest person ever on the Inside Business Power List. The Hampton Roads Chamber of Commerce, along with several of the businesses that have gone through Hatch, have been named as top 10 companies to watch. I've been on the TED stage talking about startup communities, and that was fun. And occasionally, I'm not wearing a t-shirt, but I'm definitely not wearing a suit. That was the first time I've worn a suit in a long time. Entrepreneur Magazine named myself and the city of Norfolk as in a issue in 2013, and it was about how the Norfolk, Virginia area is a great place to start a business. Just giving you guys some context about me. Hey, Ben, how are you doing? Thanks for being here. Steven as well. Paul, cool. You went to InnoLab. I've been there before. The White House welcomed me there a couple years ago to talk about my business in the startup community here. And I live in Virginia. Governor Terry McAuliffe named me to the Youth Entrepreneurship Board. What's interesting about this, it's about 25 people. Cool thing, only 3 or 4 of us are actually private business owners, and I'm one of them, and that's really cool. And a lot of us are underdogs. I look at myself as an underdog because people just never think that I can do it, and I love to share with them that I can. Today, what you're going to learn, you're going to learn what tools you can be using right now, like you can implement like the second you start hearing them to grow your business, how I turn a sales meeting into a networking opportunity with 100,000 eyeballs on me a month, the common misconceptions about tools that you don't actually need to be using, how to network like a boss in 10 minutes, and case studies of companies who've implemented this strategy. One of them's right there below us. You can't see him though. Maybe he'll make an appearance later. How do I know? Well, because I have over 5 years specifically working in early stage companies with over 1,000 different companies. And everything we talk about today are things that we've actually done and continue to implement and execute. Not just some professor saying, I read this in a book, here's how you should do it yourself. We've been in your shoes and we continue to be in your shoes. Today's message is brought to you by the 757 Makerspace. Actually, I just needed to get a drink of water because I'm so excited. All right. If you're watching this, we are going to post a link. I want to know what you guys are working on. If you guys are on the Facebook Live, we want to hear from you. What is the name of your business? Tag it below. Let's get a little opportunity to promote yourself here. If you've ever seen me talk live and in person, a lot of people that do talks only take that opportunity to leverage what's either being done live and in person there, but they don't really get to take advantage of the social aspect. So if every time you're doing a talk or every time you are somewhere, think about the opportunities that you're missing. So if you want to take a screenshot of this and share with your people or just share it, take advantage of the opportunities that you're in. I've done this talk live, and I just take a picture of myself at the belt and say, everyone take a picture, use hashtag Hustle City, and take that and share it with the world. All right, let's go ahead and get started. In 27 minutes, you'll learn how I turned a sales meeting into a networking opportunity into 100,000 eyeballs. But first, what can you do right now? Take an inventory of your life. So likely you are some sort of age. My guess is you're somewhere between the ages of 18 and 70, and you have lived a life with people that you had a relationship with. Maybe you're trying to get into the logistics business. What I would do is go through your accounts and figure out where certain people that are in those industries are and reacquaint yourself with them. There are studies that say that if you were to acquire a new customer, it's going to be significantly more expensive than trying to get a new one. So if you are trying to find a new customer, it's more expensive to find them than to keep one. And if the same thing can be said with your life, that it's more expensive for you to try and find new people than to leverage the ones that you already have, right? So think about the networks, right? So Derek, you and Paul and Steven have all lived a life, right? Who in that life is doing something that is also in your industry that maybe you can call in some favors for, or reacquaint yourselves with them to start, building back up that rapport and that relationship. You can do this by going to your LinkedIn account. Many of you guys have LinkedIn. I may be friends with you there. What are you on LinkedIn? Is it a friend? Is it a follower? I never understood that. They always change those things up. Friend, follower, who knows? A follower. We'll call it a follower today. But this is my profile. Took a screenshot of this. Shout out to Scott Hunter, who pitched to 757 Angels last night. Hey, Jim Hicks, how's it going? What I want to talk to you about LinkedIn, though, is how to go through it and find something. So if you look at the top right of your screen on LinkedIn, remember, if you're watching on Facebook Live, simply go to startwithhatch.com/customer, and you can watch the screen as well. This is a screenshot of the look of LinkedIn today. At the top, there's a bar where you can search for people, jobs, companies, and a couple other things as well. Maybe your customer is a founder. So typically the customers that we have are founders and entrepreneurs of companies. So I typed in founder here, and I wanted to see who in my list actually I have relationships with. And so I simply go through here and I find these people. In this case, this is these are secondhand people, so I'm not necessarily connected with them, but I can see who I'm connected with through them. Then maybe I want to talk to them and start a relationship with them. This is someone that I had recently connected with, and I just started having a conversation with them. It is that simple. Don't immediately go into it and say, hey, I want your business. Learn about them. Learn about some of the problems that they're going through, how much time they're spending on something, and some of the solutions that they're looking for, and maybe you can educate them on finding them for them. Another great way to do this is through Facebook groups. This is a Facebook group. This is a closed group, and it's dedicated towards designers, people in the creative world. This group has 1,472 members. I'm not a member of this group. I believe Dave is. But what's great about this group is you can go and you can see who is having conversations on this group, and you can chime in and start becoming an authority in your space. You can start becoming respected by communicating on some of the things that they are looking for. So in this case, this person might be saying, hey, I'm looking for a tool that can help me here. What can I do? Well, you can say, oh, I use this, or I use that. And it can be a great way to leverage that. And then, like I said, you can have this conversation here. You can also take this and then go into a one-on-one conversation with someone if you would like to do that instead of just doing it boldly or openly like this. The problem with going open, or the problem with just going exclusively open, is that people have a tendency to, if you just blindly message them, they might be a little afraid. Instead, basically are creating a relationship with them online, and they're more likely to learn about you, respect you, and then when you do message them one-to-one, it's apparent that they'd be willing to, they would be more likely to connect with you in that kind of way. Might be having a little bit of internet issues. Apologies if we are. Sorry. It's Ian Taylor's fault. He built it. He's taking up all the internet. Cat pics. Great. One thing I learned about Ian Taylor, a quick thing, is on Super Bowl. If you're on Reddit, which we'll talk about in a minute, you can go to Superb Owl. Superb Owl. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. It's actually extremely ridiculous. All right, so you go to Twitter. You guys have heard of Twitter, and you guys are probably using it. But there's a lot of conversations going on Twitter in similar sense to LinkedIn, but instead of being connected with someone, this is more like a Facebook group where you can go in and search with people. And so here is a normal Twitter look. All you do is go through and you're searching for a specific thing. In this case, we search for marketing. You just went to the top right if you're on your desktop, or on the search mechanism that they have on the mobile as well. You can also see that people use the hashtag marketing in this case. And here's just an example of someone that is communicating in this. This is Bob Ruffalo. My guess is he is from Buffalo. Jokes. If he's not, I'm sorry. But this could be a place where you can start engaging and promoting other people and talking with them and having a relationship with them. Another great place to find other people is through blogs, these things called Twitter chats. This happens to be one where people are saying blog chat. And it's just a great way for people really quickly that might be in an industry are trying to find specific people, and you can create a relationship with them. One of my favorite things to do is when you're on these social media accounts, social medias, you can simply just ask people what they're looking for. So I took this picture right before our startup address at the beginning of the year. And I said, if there was one thing that you wanted to know about the local startup community, what would it be? And we're able to get engagement with these people. One of the great things that, hey, Thomas, what's up, buddy? Hope you're doing well. One of the best things about asking questions in these cases is that you can engage with people and get and communicate with people over and over and over again. And likely, if they're engaging with you, they're probably your customer. Now, you do have to be a little bit careful here. Sometimes in this case, when people do surveys or people do focus groups, what happens is they get a lot of really good information, but they don't really understand what it is. A great example is maybe you're trying to grow your email list, and people talk about that. And it's a great tool to do this. However, some of the challenges with that are if you incentivize someone to join your email list and you get, let's say, 100,000 people to sign up, but they all just wanted to win that big screen TV that you're giving them, was that really growing your list in an according way or not? Just be cautious of the information that you're doing. You should always go one-to-one with people as well. And then what I would do is, just like in this case here, I would take this information and I would have one-to-one conversations with people. These are two people here. And I literally just talk to them and figure out what their struggles are. And I don't sell them, and I don't sell them for a while. I communicate over and over again to make sure that things, that the relationship that we create is one, so that when I do pitch to them for the sale, it's more likely that they're going to say yes than no. If you guys have any questions at all you have to do is simply ask them below, and we will answer them either live on here or text them back to you later as well. But simply ask any questions and we'll get back to you. All right, business cards. I think people do this in a really long way. Long and wrong. I like to have props. We'll go live on here too, because this is always fun to watch the replay of. All right, so we're going to stop the screen share. So business cards. You guys have a ton of business cards throughout the years. This is just a handful that I've had over the last few weeks. You know what I'm talking about, business cards. How many of you guys have a handful of business cards like this? Raise your hand if you do. What do you do with them afterwards? I see so many people that do nothing with these business cards. I mean, a ton of people. What I recommend doing is very, very, very simple. Going through them and creating two separate lists. People that could be your customer now and people that likely will never be your customer ever. The reason you do this is because you want to be spending your time very, very wisely.
And on the other side, it's just super slow.
So what you should do with your business cards is put them into two groups. These two groups. So you have all these business cards, right? You get them here and on the screen. Hot leads and cold leads. From there, You want to basically put them through and say, okay, these are the people that you think you can do business with now. These are the people that you think you can do business with later. I'll do this real quick in live. So I don't even remember who this person is. That's not good. No. Yes. All right, we'll do this in live. Yes. 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 Probably. No. 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 All right, so I just went through half my cards. These are the ones that I think are hot. These are the ones that I don't think I can do anything with. You don't necessarily throw them away. You just put them to the side. So of these ones that you can do, you look through and you say, okay, this person right here, shout out, Jennifer Seal. Likely you're my customer. I'm going to be reaching back out to you and try and learn what some of your big problems are. Even if I can't actually be the person to solve the problem, I still think that you should help them in that case because it's important to just be a good person. And if they know what you're doing, it's likely they may be able to give you a lead at a later time. Hello, Deanie.
Hi.
So even if you're not going to be their customer, it's okay. Still feed them some love. At this point, if you guys have questions, please feel free to ask them. I know we're going along and would love to know if you guys have any questions whatsoever. Simply comment below and I will respond right now. The stream has been cutting in and out. I'm not sure why. I apologize. We will try to make this better. All right, what questions do you guys have right now in finding some of your customers? Hello, Melody, how are you? Juliet, hello. Got a lot of good comments. Thank you guys for being here. But what kind of business questions do you guys have? What sales issues are you guys going through? We will get to that at the next break. All right, so networking meetings. Raise your hand if you hate networking meetings. Most people don't actually like networking meetings, I found. It's because they feel like they get bombarded by salespeople and they don't know what to really do when they're there. I find that this strategy is a real challenge because you go to these events and you find that it is difficult to have conversations with people because you just can't do it. But if you were to able to go through and have conversations with people beforehand and then meet them there, it's kind of a better way, and you have kind of an agenda set up and you have an impromptu way to meet with people, and it just seems to work a little bit better. All right, so how do you actually implement this? Let's say you go to a website called meetup.com, which is basically just like Facebook events, but it's strictly for meetups. Now on meetup.com, it's usually educational events or networking events, and what people do there is they go and have a great networking event. But going up to people, meeting them, maybe you're shy, you don't like to do that. So you go to meetup.com and say, who is going to this event, right? As you can see on here, the people that are going in this event, Melody is actually one of them. So, maybe you want to say, okay, Melody's going there. It looks like she might be my potential customer. What can I do now? Now you go to their profile page, do a little bit more research on them, see if they are, and then reach out to Melody and say, hey, Melody, I hope you're doing well. I see that you're going to XYZ event. I'd love to meet you there, and I hope that we can have a couple of minutes to chat. Looking, sincerely, Zach, looking forward to seeing you there. The reason you do this is you're giving yourself a way to introduce yourself to someone beforehand, but then when you see them in person, you can say, hey, Melody, it's Zach Miller. I talked to you via email. I sent you that note. I love what you're doing with, A, B, and C company. Just thank you for your time today. I'm looking forward to learning more about you. I also love your purse, something like that. So then, when you're going to this meeting, you want to approach all these people and you're like, oh my God, I can't go up to these people. I'm scared. I'm terrified of it. Now you actually can be more comfortable with these people because you're not as afraid to go up to them one-to-one. It's more like, a real conversation. And when you're with these people, you want to listen. This is my favorite part of the conversation. A lot of people like to talk. They don't like to hear what people are doing. Young little kid here, Hulkamania here. People got to listen. Dog looks like Ashbrook, big ears. And maybe if you don't know what question to ask them what's keeping you up at night. You know, if they're a business owner, maybe something's keeping them up at night. Maybe you have an answer to them. You know, as we see these series of people that are having things up at night, hopefully it's not relationship problems. But people are going through things and we just don't always know what they're going through. Hey, AJ, how are you? And so when you're at a networking event and you're trying to figure out what could you say to someone, you know, start small, but listen to them. Don't be the person that is controlling the conversation and you're the only person talking. Have people also communicate back with you because people want to hear their stories. You know, in AJ's case, it could be, you know, learning more about this past weekend's Tidewater Comic Con and how that went. And, oh, what really go, you know, and it could just be really quick questions where it's like, well, how does that work? How do you put together a booth for, you know, a con event? And so he is going to say something likely, and it's going to be intriguing to you. And you can take that information and say, wow, that's really interesting. And you're probably going to hear things that he talks about. And maybe you have more questions with it. Oh, so you sold this. That's really interesting. How did you come up with the idea to do this? Oh, well, we created these miniatures. And so you see how the conversation is. You can kind of control the questions, but you're not necessarily controlling the answers. You're not the one talking all the time. You're allowing the person to communicate, and so you can build a relationship and a rapport with them, and you know, mentally take notes and say, what is this person saying to me, so that then I can follow up with them at a later time. AJ, by the way, how was the event? I was looking for you Tuesday. It looks like it was great. A lot of people there. Hope it went well. All right, so questions. If you guys have questions, feel free to keep asking them away, because I'd love to answer them. Let me look through and make sure we don't have anything yet. I don't think that we do. You guys want to see me dance? No, I don't either. All right. All right. Just remember, if you have questions, feel free to ask them. For some reason, these things, and it's kind of a challenge to get these images or these questions so quickly. Hold on, I'm getting to it. I could see it on my phone. Cannot see it on my computer. I apologize. Oh, Juliet. Sorry. Can't win them all, I guess. Keep that technique again. I am sure it works. So, AJ, in your case, so AJ says it was a great time. We're looking for more events. Now, how are you selecting the events that you're doing? So this is a great lead question for someone, because they could take this information, and what could happen is they could say, oh, okay, this is really interesting. How could I then maybe help them find some of this stuff? Now, you know, you want to be a little bit cautious because you don't want to spend so much time with people doing this, but it's very possible that you can work with some of these people and just help them out just a little bit to make their lives a little bit easier. And then even if you're not going to become a customer or not, or they're not going to become a customer of you or not, you're helping them out, and they might be able to tell other people as well. So Juliet, why didn't it work? Because they liked your person, it wasn't the one that they wanted? Why was it so embarrassing? Maybe I'm reading that wrong. All right. If this stuff is valuable to you guys, if you guys could like it and share it as well, that would mean the world to me. You know, my whole goal in life is to make people's lives just a little bit easier. And if I can do that, I'd love to do it. All right. This is where I think we get into things where people might not be as familiar with these tools, but they're a great way to find these. All of these tools are things that, you know, before it might have been like encyclopedia Encyclopedia Britannica, but now you can go and get this stuff kind of online and on demand, and it's really, really cool. So Quora is an online question and answer forum with basically any question that you would want. And so if you were looking for a topic specifically, let's say startups, you were kidding, Juliet. That was a good joke. You got me good. If you are looking, in the startup world like we normally are, you can go through here and see what people's questions are. And again, you can comment on it and see what type of struggles people are currently going through. Sometimes you can find questions like this one: why is Dropbox more popular than other tools? And maybe you find that you're in the space business and you're looking for those customers, and you can kind of go in there, troll there, and create relationships with these types of people. Similar thing in Reddit, but instead of Q&A, it's just more informational. Again, we're looking at the topic startups, and here are people that are talking about startups here. Now, the reason we're showing you all these things is because we believe that there is just a plethora of different information out there, and this is a great place for you to be able to go and find new people. Now, it is not an immediate win, but it is a relationship with these people that you can go in and create relationships with as well. All right, online check-in number 2. If you are watching this online, you're going to get a link. Dave is going to post that. Just want to know who's here, what you guys are working on, and if the stuff that we are talking about right here, right now, is value. If you want to know what Dave looks like, he's right there. Headphones on. All right. How did I turn a sales meeting into a networking opportunity with 100,000 eyeballs on me? If you haven't heard this story before, it's pretty crazy. So we work with a lot of companies, hundreds, thousands of companies. And one of the companies is called Tunnel Traffic, and they are a tunnel traffic application that tells you what kind of tunnel to go through here in the southeastern part of Virginia. And Jeremy Alessi was looking to send or sell his business to the TV station, maybe have an exclusive right with them, and asked if I knew anyone that may be of interest, maybe one of the local media companies, or which ones are the local media companies. And I said, well, while I have a relationship with all of them, I have one relationship with Channel 13. It might be a good fit for us to try there first. So I reach out to the general manager there. Her name is Carrie Jacobs. And I say, hey, Carrie, we have a company that we're working with, and they do this. What's really interesting about Tunnel Traffic is that you guys are actually using it on your air a couple of days a week. And we just want to talk to you guys about ways that maybe we can work together. And so Carrie, Jeremy, and myself went to the Egg downtown. And while we were there, we had a talk about Tunnel Traffic, and what happened on Tunnel Traffic wasn't the best of things that happened because Carrie did not like the idea of purchasing it and not at the price that it was there. But that's okay. Learned a lot of information about how maybe a conversation like that would initially go. Let's slide to about 15, 20 minutes into the conversation. Carrie goes, well, let me ask you guys this. I'm the new general manager and president here at Channel 13, and I want to start a business show. And this is what I think the business show is going to look like. Who do you think could be our host? And in this scenario, I sit there and I go, well, what am I going to say? And I decide to say, I decide to raise my hand. Sayonara. Kaname just left. And I've learned Japanese from there, about 3 words. Sayonara is goodbye. And so we're talking, and she says, who could be a host? I decided to raise my hand, and I didn't know where it was going to go. I didn't know, but I knew that it was an opportunity that I was interested in because I thought I could put more eyeballs on my company, and that was something that I wanted to do. And so I think a lot of people don't know that opportunities are in front of them, and instead of actually going after them, we actually turn them away. And so I kept following up with her, and I kept saying, I'm really interested in this. Hello, Adriana. I'm really interested in this TV show, and just give me a chance. And so ultimately I was given a chance, and we're up to like 32 episodes, of which we've done, and the show has been over a year. Here's the thing: every month it's viewed by 100,000 people. And so had I not raised my hand, had I not put myself in that situation, I wouldn't have 100,000 more eyeballs on my company. But I raised my hand and I went after it, and now I do. One great thing about this is you can always say no later. If you guys are wanting to watch the slides and you're watching this on Facebook, head on over to startwithhatch.com/customer, and you guys can watch it, the slides there. In a couple of minutes, we're going to talk to you how to network like a boss. I'm just dancing right now if you guys are watching, just trying to change things up a bit. I'm a great dancer, aren't I? Terrible. All right. A lot of people talk about the tools that are needed. Here are the tools that you do not need. You don't need a website right now. Remember, you're doing all of the work. You might need to go to a website, but you don't necessarily have to create your own website right now, because they cost a lot of money. And how much traffic are they really bringing to you when you can just get down to brass tacks, pick up the phone, reach out to people, and create relationships? That's what we're talking about. What type of questions do you guys have right now over the material that we've just talked about? We've talked about a lot of things over and over. Where are your struggles in some of these type of encounters? What type of things? Is it you're afraid to get in front of someone? Is it afraid that you don't know what to do? What is it that you are just challenged with when trying to find your next customer? Derek, if you're still watching, how are you going to get your kind of first customers with your new place? How did you find your landlord and things like that? Think about all those type of scenarios. Again, today's message provided by 757 Makerspace. You can find them at 757makerspace.com. And for those of you that are watching now that want us to know where your business is, simply tag it in the comments below or to the right, or however you're watching this. Would love to know more about your business. All right. Now, these things that we're talking about, websites, SEO, they all cost a lot of money. Now, while they may work at a later time, let's really focus on finding exactly who you want through your current networks and figuring out what type of pain points and challenges that they are going through today, and if you are able to fix them. Again, you're probably not a designer, AJ. I know you're not, but obviously your wife is, and Jenna, so you don't have that problem. But if you're looking for a tool, because you want something to look a little bit better, you can head on over to Canva, that's CANVA.com, and you can basically create your own graphics on demand for free if you want to. You can pay a couple of dollars if you want to use certain things. Hey, Dawn, how's it going? See that Paul is making it to Atlanta. That should be fun. Hey, Dave, if you can post Paul's Facebook page on this. Paul, our communications director here, is traveling from Norfolk all the way across the country and then up to Portland and then back over the next, he claims, 30 days or so. We'll see if it actually happens in 30 days or more, 30 days or less. I think it's going to be more towards the 40, but it's rambling on the road. He just got started yesterday. It's pretty fun stuff. And he'll be doing all that on Snapchat too, posting a lot of stuff. But you don't need a designer. You don't need a developer. Yeah, absolutely, AJ. Able to help him out there. But these things all cost money. And I think a lot of people think that if we just build it, they will come. That's not the case. You got to pick up the phone. You got to create relationships with people. Spending money on TV ads. That can be really expensive. If you want a TV ad during CSI Miami, it's a couple of $1,000s. Imagine if you could take that couple $1,000 and, in AJ's case, go to a couple conferences, go to a couple cons and be able to market there. You're able to get a lot more opportunities out there. One thing that we don't have in here, but I'm going to go quickly and find this and show you. Found it. Is we're missing out all too often on people that come into our spaces, come into our lives, and we do nothing with. A simple sign-in sheet can go so far, right? So someone was in our office yesterday, Nathan, right? Maybe he didn't have a card. That's fine. Get him to sign in. Now I can reach back out to him and say, hey, Nathan, would love to know what kind of challenges that you're going through right now in your life. Now, Facebook ads is a cheaper alternative to some of these other ads, but you don't really know. But for $5, it might be a decent test if you want to. Catherine, how are you? Good to hear from you. But again, these are the things that you don't really need to do right now. You can do all of these things without spending money. Here's something that we didn't have in here. When people are going to your website, what are you doing to make sure that you can communicate with them? Or if they're coming to you, how do you make sure that you can follow up with them at a later time? I mean, look at this. All these things are ads, and what are they going to do but bombard you? An email opt-in is similar to this, but online. And it can be a challenge as well if you are doing an email opt-in because you just don't know what's working out. I do recommend if you can use an email opt-in, use a free tool, a free widget to do that, to collect the leads off of those people. A great one to use is SumoMe, but don't spend money kind of creating your own. Use off-the-shelf software if you're going to. And this is what an opt-in looks like if you aren't familiar. And Clever Copy as well. A great way to learn about what copy to write is by listening to your customers, because your customers are going to tell you in their language. A great kind of hack is to, when you're talking with them, start figuring out what words they use and start using that in your language. So if you are in the military, likely you're gonna speak in acronyms. But if you're a soccer mom, you're not gonna speak in acronyms likely. So you want to make sure that the copy that you're using is used in the correct context. All too often people, here's a great example of one for VW. All too often people are creating content and it's too broad, and when they need to talk to someone specific, they don't talk to that person specifically and end up using them or losing them because they're not talking to them the way that these people want to be talked to. But it's very easy in your conversations with people to learn the type of things, the type of words that they use over and over again. I have a notebook full of words that are associated with specific phone calls that I get. And we then take that information and start sharing it back into the type of information that we send back out to people. If this information has been valuable for you, feel free to share it. Feel free to like it. Feel free to love it. Maybe a haha, because everyone needs a little haha every once in a while. Because now that Facebook has, different emoticons, whatever they call this. What do they call those, Dave? What do they call this? Huh? What are the new Facebook like buttons called? Emoticons? Who?
Reaction.
Whatever reaction you want to give me, I don't care. Just give it. Give me some love. Give me some hate. Give me a wow. And online check-in number 3. So if you guys are following along at startwithhatch.com/customer, thank you for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying the slides developed and created by the wonderful Dave Ritt. Hey, Brian, nice to talk to you yesterday. Looking forward to doing something together. So if you guys have any questions, feel free, as always, to ask. If you are too afraid to ask in the forum here, feel free to email me. You can do it at Zach, Z-A-C-K, at startwithhatch.com. I'll get back to you when this message is over. Thank you. Yes, he is. John Norton. That David is indeed wonderful. Enjoy having him around here. All right, in 10 minutes, we're going to give you some case studies of ways that people have used this. But first, how to network like a boss. So, the challenge with the world is we waste a lot of our time. And a lot of time that we spend is tough because we can never get it back, right? And one exciting way to do this is something that we call 50-10. So 50-TEN. If you want to follow this online, you can go startwithhatch.com/50-TEN. And what it is, it's a way for you to get curated meetings, curated quality meetings with people that are looking to have a specific question answered. Stephen recently followed this specific method, the 50-10 method, and last weekend he launched a brand new website, and he has already gotten his first sale and several leads by following this exact method. Basically what it is reaching out to different groups or different relationships that you have with people. So all the things that we were just talking about, reaching out to some of those people and saying, I want to help you. And I know your time is valuable, so let's schedule a 10-minute call, a 15-minute call, and we can talk about the specific pain points that you're going through. Now, people think it's crazy that you can have a successful 10-minute call, a 10-minute meeting. The problem is we spend so much time on cat pictures and babies that we don't focus on the task at hand, and that's the key to this. By knowing exactly what someone's pain point is, you're able to really dive right into that and answer their questions. And what you want to do is reach out to them and say, hey, John, I see that you're a part of this group, or I know you from whatever, and I'd love to talk to you about some of the challenges that you're going through. If you have 10 minutes of time on Monday at 7:30 in the morning, love to chat. If you can, say yes. Or you can use software like Wufoo Forms or like a Google form, and you can take that information and simply try and schedule meetings with people. You may have to change your copy all your time. You might have to change the times to people. But ultimately, people are looking for answers. And if you can help them, that is wonderful. What you'll learn from this is you're going to help them, and they're going to be intrigued into what you do, and you can pop out of the cake and say, hey, I may be able to help you with this little product or service or company that I have that also does X, Y, and Z. And so by you just educating someone, you're then able to basically slide in there and say, hey, we're open for business too. I helped you. Can you help me? Brian says, for this type of meeting, do you think face-to-face or over the phone? So I've only done it on the phone. I think face-to-face could work, but you have to be really, really, really diligent, and you have to bring everyone to you, or you have to go to one place where everyone can come to you. And a lot of times, if you don't, if the schedules get messed up, you can really piss people off by doing this in a non kind of online kind of way, or online one-to-one telephone kind of way. And so I've only done it on the phone, but it could work in person if you're really diligent and really, really, really careful. What you don't want to do here, and so Stephen actually put padding in his. I don't allow myself padding because it forces me to make sure I get off that phone with people. And so I'll show you some of my notes from this, and I actually put the times down afterwards. And the goal is to do 50 calls for 10 minutes a week, right? At least 50 of those. And they're pre-scheduled conversations with people. And so I was telling you, I do take notes for everything I'm doing. So I'm looking, I have really bad handwriting, but I'm looking for specific words that people use so that I can communicate with them in different things. All right, so so one of the times I did it was in, I guess, February. And I just have a list of these things. And here's the times that I talked with these people. 10:27, okay, so I'm over on that one. 11:42, over on that one too, right? 9:41, all right, I'm okay on that one. 8:22, 16:59, went way over there. And then 9:10, 7:22. The key is, like, you have to keep yourself grounded. You have to keep yourself ready to do this. And if you talk too much about fluffy things, yeah, it's nice, but it's emotional, right? It's not about emotional things. It's about getting down and using your time wisely so that the right things that you want to happen will happen. And so by getting on the phone, if you get 6 calls done in an hour that's educational, that are leads for people, that's a heck of a morning. And so I remember the first time we did this, the second time we did this, I had like 25 calls done by 11. And I was just like, wow. I mean, if you were to do 1 hour meetings with people and you had to maybe drive there, the time associated with that, if you actually do 8 hours a day, it would take you 3 days to do that. And it took me a couple hours in the morning. And so by just being a little bit more creative and actually trying to help people, you have leads. Now, what you want to do is you just funnel them down and you educate them more. And then when the time is right, you basically say, hey, I appreciate you coming. I appreciate the call. I've educated you this morning. I think this product that I have is a good fit for you. I'd love for you to join. Juliet, no faux soaps. We have some soap of hers. One left. And she said she's gotten this at a new customer, right? But I think a lot of people just don't work, right? And so at the end of the day, what makes you different right now is working. All right, talk about 4 case studies of people who do this. Ian, who was here just a little bit earlier, he had a company about 3 years ago, successfully sold it just a few months ago. And basically it was a bicycle courier company where folks were looking to get goods delivered on demand. And so you've seen this now in things like Order Up and Postmates and Grubhub, but that was all food. Maybe you wanted beer or materials or pens, and maybe you were intoxicated and you didn't want to drive. Well, you could call Ian and he would pick it up. And so all he did was he printed out a bunch of pieces of paper and wrote on it his Google Voice number and said, get anything delivered. It'll cost $5 plus the price of whatever it costs. And he made like $250 the first weekend that he did this. And all he did was find people that needed his services and made it super easy for them. Stop trying to make things that are super sexy and start doing things that people actually need. Be a utility, not some silly little thing that people don't want. I think a lot of people try to build things that they don't need, and then it doesn't work, and they get pissed off because they didn't really solve a problem in the first place. Here's a story of Jeannie Fioca. She was on here a little bit ago. I don't know if she still is, but hello, Jeannie, if you are. Jeannie really leveraged spending a very minute amount of money to entice people to try her product. Now, she has an amazing company called Cookie Text. You can learn about it at cookietext.com. Ian's company from before is Carry, Carry logistics.com. But Jeannie, cookietext.com, she bakes homemade, made-to-order cookies with text messages on them every single day. And she found that when she would bake a cookie, cut it into little squares and let people try it like you are at your shopping mall, your Costco's, that would then turn into more business because people would like it and then want to buy one for one of their friends or family members. And so she took this little thing, she spent $5 and said, I'm gonna let people try this. And in fact, she was able to then get repeat business off it. And if you ask her today, the number one thing that she does to get new business is she gives a couple of them away. Now, just a little piece. And if you're at the startup address or you ever happen to be at Hatch when she's here and she brings one, they're gone in like 3 minutes. No joke. If you were to buy one of these at your just local grocer, it's a hard word to say, grocer. These things, when we've had them from the normal grocery store, they last for days. That made-to-order freshness is important. Jeremy Johnson, who may be behind me somewhere, has the company johnrichmedia.com. And Jeremy was able to create a business that did 6 figures a year and never even had his own personal website. He just allowed the world of word of mouth to help him grow. And he would talk to people and say, if this has been beneficial to you, can you please give me a list of people that may also want this? Or do you know anyone that may? And an introduction would be great. And so, by thinking of this, just going out and figuring out who wanted food, number one, that was Ian. Number 2 is just enticing a little bit, like your shopping mall or your Costco's, or Jeremy asking for referrals. And then finally, Eric Olson, our oldest member of today's 4. When he decided to create 80/20, and you can go and find out at 8020.co, not .com, 8020.co, he decided to tell the world. And the reason he did this is because no one knew that he was in business if he didn't tell them. And so the key to being in business is letting people know that you're open for business. So he did spend a little bit of money, a couple $100, and created some collateral for folks and said, we're open for business. I know you from something. Here's my business card. Referrals are great. And was able to very successfully go from himself to, I think, a company of 11 or 12 employees now. They've moved out of Hatch or across the street, and I think are already going to be expanding off of their new space as well in just 1 year since moving out, and then 18 months beforehand. But it's about hustling, as John will tell you, John Wharton, the plant hustler. You got to get out and you got to make things happen. You got to see what people want. And in his case, he's done a tremendous job of getting people to really want his product, and he's got a ton of followers that go where he is. And it's just incredible to watch it. I've never even met John. At least I don't think I met John, but I follow him and I have mad respect for him. And it's exciting. It was snowing a couple months ago and he's still out there hustling. It's just great to see. And so, altogether, it's about being really creative. Stop trying to be like other people and instead be your own. If you guys are watching here on Facebook and are looking to watch the slides, go to startwithhatch.com. There is 2 H's in there, the H in with and the H in hatch.com/customer. And you guys can follow along on the slides. Now I want to tell you guys about a program that all the companies that we've talked to have gone through, and 150 others are locally and all across the country, called 1004. I started Hatch to solve my own problem, and in the last 12 months started 1004 because I was looking for an answer to my own problems. I started going to the normal places to find the answers, and they didn't give me the right info, or the context was off. I just felt like something was wrong. It just wasn't the right fit for me. And, this is 4 or 5 years ago. I'm getting these answers and people are like, Facebook isn't going to be anything. The internet's still nothing. I'm like, guys, it's clearly taking over. There's going to be businesses. There's going to be business related things here. We have to be working on that. And so they didn't have the answers, but I knew that someone needed it. And so instead of just bitching and moaning about it, I decided to create my own solution for it. So I started hosting meetups where I'd call other entrepreneurs together to learn together about some of their problems. I had a first meetup with just a dozen or so people and turned that into what is now Hatch, that has the recognition that it is, the businesses that it's been working with. And just from that one dozen meetup to thousands of people and national exposure is something that we've grown because it was a problem that we ultimately needed to solve ourselves. And so I created my own resources, business content on demand, workshops on demand, resources. What kind of accounting tool should I use? What accountant should I use? All these things we curate so that you don't have to. Or, it's 2 a.m. and I need to be educated on this topic, but I can't call my lawyer. But there's a business video that has information, or how do I do this Facebook ad correctly? All those type of things, like social media, like I said, Facebook ads, email marketing, getting investments. So how do you raise money? I've raised $196,000 from several investors. And how did I do it? We share all those type of things, and then building web applications as well if you're looking to trying to get into that. What's interesting, though, is we're using this for ourselves. We're using this for our investments. But other companies, too, companies that I respected, were saying, how are you doing this? I was just like, well, what do you mean, how are we doing this? This is what we do. And so companies started asking us to get access to our resources. They were saying, can you help us? And the answer was no, over and over again. But then finally, I just said, you know what? Maybe there is something for them. So 1004 was born. And the concept is based with the goal of start or grow 1,000 companies with an average of four employees each. That would be 8. I know 4, right? And so by creating an army of businesses that can work and collaborate together to ultimately achieve one goal is far better than one company with a lot of silos and a lot of micromanagement. And ultimately, we're well on our way to our goal of 1,000. And so 1004 is an online directory of step-by-step modules, courses, webinars, and workshops that you can get both live in person, live online, or record at a later time so that you can still get the exact experience. And many of you guys are members here. If you are, please tell us what you think about it in the comments. If this has been a good fit for you, I hope that it has. I think that it has, as you guys have been able to grow your businesses by using the resources that we put together on the platform in 1004. And so it's watching webinars, workshops, and courses anytime, anywhere. And then there's this whole community aspect of people just like you that you can spit your ideas off of or try and figure out how to do something specific, because entrepreneurship, while it may be this big sexy bug that everyone is getting into, it is hard. It's really hard. And people don't always talk about the tough things. And it's really hard in general public world because not everyone is an entrepreneur, right? A very small percentage are, and they just don't understand the emotional side of it. And so by having a community of curated businesses that are in it, it's a great thing. Think of 1004.com. That's 10004, FOUR.com, as a gym for entrepreneurs. What you will not find here is that professor who will teach you how to do something that has never done it themselves. We hate that. We don't like that. The context is off and the emotional side is not there. And they usually speak in things that they have no idea what they're talking about. So no to the professor. What you'll get there is weekly expert workshops. So we have over 150 different guides and workshops right now and are adding to it every week. Likely, we're going to have about 300 different guides by the end of the year, and we release new live content every Tuesday at noon, and then others trickle throughout the week where members are asking specific questions, or we're just adding things that we see that our members are needing and looking for. There's the community aspect of it, there's exposure, and this is exclusive content that you can only get on 1004.com. Every month, it's $2,500 worth of content, or $30 a month. And if you guys sign up within the hour today, if you go to 1004.com, you'll get a bonus strategy call with me where we can talk through your exact ins and outs that you are looking to get through, the goals that you're trying to hit so that you can hit that. And the best thing about this is you can try a week for free right now. So all you have to do is go to 1004.com, sign up, and you'll get a week for free. Xerxes. Hello. Xerxes is a member of 1004.com, and so are many others of you that are on here as well. And if you guys sign up right now, within the next hour of this finishing, which will be within the next 3 minutes, so you have until 4:12 to sign up. Everything will come through. Once you do that, I'll simply reach out to you and we will have a bonus strategy call. And here's the thing, you can cancel anytime, but you get 7 days for free right now if you sign up right now. And so if you're looking to connect with us, which we hope that you do, head on over to startwithhatch.com. My email is Zach, Z-A-C-K, or any spelling of that you want, but Z-A-C-K is preferred, at startwithhatch.com. You can find us obviously on Facebook and Twitter at /startwithhatch. But if you guys are looking for a community, looking for the answers, 1004.com is your answer. All you have to do is go to 1000, just like the link says right here, 10004 FOUR.com. Dave has linked it here in the comments. If you go there right now, you will get 7 days for free. You will get a free bonus consultation call with me. And then for $30 a month after that, you get all this content and community, and it is an amazing place for you and your business to be. And let's be honest, it's a heck of a deal. And what better way to spend your holiday weekend than using this? Stephen is not getting paid to say this. Stephen pays us. As he just said, if you aren't a member already, you really should purchase this seriously. I asked him a couple of nights ago, if he would pay more for this. And he said, absolutely, right? Stephen has been able to go from a nothing in his new product to already sales by just using some of the techniques that we use and provide to our members. Nick, who just joined us, is a member as well. And he's looking for places and ways to get things out as well. I'm going to hold you to that, Stephen. We are going to start charging you more because we can't. No, Stephen, you're in. But that's it, guys. It's community and content. It's a very quickly growing community. We'd love to have you be a part of it. If you head on over to 1000FOUR.com, you can become a member today. We'd love for you to do it. And if you're not ready yet, awesome. Reach out to me. Let me know what kind of problems you're having and how we can help you get to that so that you can be a member as well. And so you can do that by going and reaching out to me at Zack, Z-A-C-K, at startwithhatch.com, and we'll make that happen. Or you can simply send me a direct message here on Facebook, and I will respond as soon as I see it, and would love to do it. And so that's all we have for today. I thank you guys so much for being here with us today. We'd love to have you be a part of the community. $2,500 worth of content for only $30 a month. It's a great thing. We still use it ourselves, and would love to have you guys be a part of it. Thanks, Stephen and Nick. Nick is going to be at Startup Night presenting in June, his company. Nick, be sure this is getting shared by a lot of people. Make sure to like it and share it. Put your company name in the comments. Want to be able to go through and figure out what companies are here taking advantage of this stuff. And so Nick's going to be at Startup Night, which is another perk of 1004 that we don't talk about. There's just so much stuff on here. 1004.com. You get the free consultation with me. You get to cancel, after 7 days if you really want to. You won't because you love it, right? But you get 7 days for free, $30 after that. It's a heck of a deal. We want you to do it. We thank you for being here today. This has been great. Thank you so much. And again, if you have any single question for me, don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to comment. Nick's telling you here, if you're not a member, seriously sign up. It's so worth it just for the networking aspect. That's just the networking. That's just the community aspect. There's so much other pieces to it that are so important as well. We'd love to have you guys keep commenting on here. I'll follow up with you guys for your comments. Thank you guys so much. 1004.com. My email again is Zack, Z-A-C-K, at startwithhatch.com. Please do not hesitate to give me an email. Love you guys. Thank you for everything.